What's up, everyone? Happy Thanksgiving. This is episode 15. We are live. Kinda. Chris, how are you doing? Thanksgiving week. I know we've talked about this. You don't really celebrate it, but you
We
feel any
celebrate
different?
it.
Well, yeah, but you guys don't eat the normal Thanksgiving.
It's a good time to be thankful.
Yeah, thankful
Extra
with
thankful.
family. Yeah, good times.
I mean,
Do you guys celebrate the whole weekend, or are you guys like a Thursday-ish?
Thursday. Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah. It's not bad.
I mean, when it's only 2 or 3 people.
Oh, sister's not coming.
No.
Oh shit. Okay.
No. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll hang out,
You know
enjoy
what else
the
you
time.
do? Yeah. Maybe play a game or two.
Yeah, we'll
Maybe watch
definitely
some
play a
football.
couple games.
Take a nap. Do all that stuff.
Have some good food.
Yeah, there you
Well,
go. What do you guys have?
We're having ribs.
Oh,
Barbecue
shit,
ribs.
nice. There it is.
Yep.
Are you
So-
making something for it? Or are you guys just doing like ribs and...
I might help in the kitchen
Okay.
a little bit.
Not bad, not bad.
I'm playing football on Thursday morning, so
That is the game plan.
I might be a late add to the kitchen duties, but you know, it's fine.
Okay, there you go.
What are you guys having?
Well, we do a big turkey with...
At your
all-
parents' house?
No, with at my dad's sisters. So
Okay.
there's 38 of us this year.
Jeez,
Going to that.
that's
and
a lot.
We'll do, it's a big event, and then
38?
we'll go back to my parents' house.
Does they have a
for it.
big house?
It's a decent size, but it's kind of like the
You
kids.
almost have to have a big house.
Well, it's kind of like
for
the
that
kids
many.
go upstairs, or the kids go downstairs, the parents and everybody upstairs, and like you just sit on the couch, watch football. I mean, it's just we're all there. It's just a lot of food.
Okay.
But then it's like they go shopping Friday, and then we do leftovers Friday night. We used to go to this place, Mexican place for margaritas. Fire, closed down.
In Egan?
You need it.
Yeah. What was
right
it called?
That was
It was over by
it was right by what's the field? Goat
Goat Hill.
Hill. Yeah, it was right in that strip mall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
know
closed.
the one that. What is it called?
I don't know.
It
I don't know why
closed
it
down,
closed, but
because they were doing bad stuff.
oh, was it?
I think so. Yeah.
They used to have these towers. Oh man.
Yeah, they should.
Fantastic. Anyways, let's get into it. Ready?
Ready.
All right, Minnesota Minute. Vikings lose a heartbreaker to the Broncos Sunday night. They play Monday night against the Bears at home. Go for football loss, not a close one, to Ohio State. They play for the Axe this Saturday, Wisconsin. Timberwolves currently 10-3, first in the North, I believe, or first in the West.
Yes.
Why did I say North? Thinking football.
They
They play They play the Sixers, Kings, and the Grizzlies coming up. Minnesota Wild struggling 5-8-4. They play the Avalanche. The Wild are actually on a 5-game losing streak. Isn't that crazy?
Every single time you bring them up in the Minnesota Minute, all they do is lose.
Yeah. And the last two, at least they've lost in overtime or a shootout, so they get half a point or 1 point.
Well, you know where they played last week.
They played in... Wait, what do you mean where they played last week? They were in Canada, weren't they?
No.
Where'd they play?
Sweden.
Oh, yeah. That was crazy.
Because the game was at 10 a.m.
That is true.
Your time.
Gopher basketball playing tonight, Tuesday. Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Mm-hmm.
Then tough game at San Francisco Sunday.
They
lost to Missouri on a wood. I think they should have won.
They were
From what I
winning
heard.
the entire game.
Yeah.
And they forgot how to play basketball at the end.
Yeah, I saw a clip.
Gave up a lot of baskets and literally did nothing on offense.
But I also saw the last clip. It was like a freshman kid took a step back 3-pointer. Like he didn't go to the hoop.
Bricked it off.
Yeah,
the
like
backboard.
who do we think we are? Go to the hoop.
Yeah.
That's a whole topic for debate. But like you're a freshman, that would be a terrible shot even in high school. Bro, a step back 3-pointer?
I mean,
And that didn't even hit the rim.
he wanted it.
You want it, but I
didn't
guess it was a
want- I didn't
legacy
want it.
shot. Yeah. Shit, if he would have made it though, everyone would be like, dude, this guy.
Well, the problem is they were winning by so much throughout the game. And, like, I don't know. It's always just a better idea to give it to your best player.
Is he our best player?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't it? What's the kid's name?
Dawson.
Dawson Knox. No, Dawson Garcia.
Yes.
Dawson Knox football again.
Dawson
football.
Garcia.
So there it is.
So he probably should have got the ball. But hopefully you live and you learn. And that doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't practice those and stop shooting those. But
Yeah.
there it is.
Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
Okay, cool. Let's transition to roundtable then.
You started.
Yeah, sure. I'll go. We've talked about it a couple times. Similar field of topic. We're starting NCAA basketball, and Cincinnati, they're currently undefeated. I believe they're 4-0. It's almost after every single game in the post-game press conference, their coach talks about how, I believe it's 2 guys that they have that haven't been declared eligible, but they have appeals into the NCAA. And they just announced that one of the players is eligible now. So he can play, I think they played Tuesday. So
wait, what changed? Like, what changed? How does that
so
happen?
they had an appeal because this guy has transferred twice.
Okay, so you have to sit out a year.
And so unless, and the NCAA is supposedly cracking down on this topic, and they say that, hey, if you transfer twice, unless you have like a mental health reason or a legit reason why you're transferring, then you have to sit out twice. Well, this guy provided a reason, and he was like, I should be able to play, whatever. And so they put it in, and then the NCAA was like, we're like not hearing it. And then an administrator from Cincinnati contacted the NCAA and said, like, what's the deal here? They said they're not planning on hearing it till December, right? It's obviously not December, but then they say, this is where I don't really understand. They say that they received new information that then expedited the process. He was granted eligibility, and now he can play in their next game. But it's like, the likelihood that they provided new information that was not already given to them in some regard up to this point, like, in my opinion, Cincinnati probably gave every single piece of information at the very beginning that they had. Because obviously, the more information you give, if it's a valid reason why this guy should be playing, then why would you not give everything that you possibly have at the beginning so that the NCAA has all the information and they can just say, yep, he's good to go. Or if it's not a thing that they want to do, then they say, no, can't do it. But at least then you've given them all the information. So it's hard for me to believe that Cincinnati withheld information, or they didn't give all the information they could at the beginning, and then just randomly it pops up when it is like still becoming a bigger thing.
Do you think it's something with the NCAA, like, there really are no rules or gist behind it? They just kind of look at some of these things and they go, wow, that team's really good. Cincinnati could be really good. They're going to keep talking about this. Let's just grant it. I mean, it was like North Carolina, the wide receiver kid. It was like, all of a sudden it just changed. Like you said,
it's so dumb.
I agree at some point where it's like, there's nothing that changed. It's not like you said, and to reiterate it, you're going to give all the information you have up front.
Yeah.
It's going to speed up the process, or it's going to give them all the clues.
Yeah.
So there's no way after X amount of weeks that you're like, oh, wow, we found some more things.
They did it in August
It makes
when
no
they
sense.
Started this process.
But I mean,
it's now the end of November.
At some point, it's going to get to a point where I think there's just going to be no rules. I'm serious. There's going to be no rules with transferring. It's just too hard to regulate, or it's...
No.
You have to put your foot down at some point, and they keep putting their foot down, but then they're letting it up to let people play. Where it's like, okay, so now that he did this, someone transfers twice and has a mental health or has something else, are they just good? Is this like a free now?
I see it differently. I feel like they went from a lot of rules to no rules around the COVID years, and now they've put in more rules again. So it's almost like they are putting down the rules, and it's gonna come to a breaking point of like, all right, what do we do here with all the schools and the NCAA? Yeah. Because the NCAA is still trying to maintain power and control, but all the schools and so many of the athletes are like, well, this is dumb. Like, this doesn't make any sense in terms of like athlete well-being and like giving some level of like just increased comfortability or like control of their own career and athletic playing.
Do you think since the NIL has now become a big time thing? The NCAA has lost all control over that.
I think it's a shit show.
I mean, because here's the thing. I'm not trying to I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. Like, if you know you can go to a Power 5 school and you will get more recognition, you will potentially get more NIL, you will do whatever, you're probably going to make any reasoning to go to that.
Yeah, if you're good enough to go there, then there's really no reason.
Right, and so this guy was at a small school, I think Utah Valley, obviously going to Cincinnati now, bigger school, bigger names. Like, I mean, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with this guy. I'm just saying now it seems like some schools and people maybe are taking more advantage of it.
Well, it should probably expand the distance between like the big schools and the smaller schools, because obviously if you're good enough to play at the bigger schools and make money there, then you're gonna make more than if you were at a smaller school. 100%. Like, that just is what it is. Right. But I was telling somebody the other day, if the NCAA would have been forward thinking 5 to 8 years ago, and they would have changed the rules then, they would have given more control to the athletes and the schools and the teams and the programs, and said, hey, you get X amount % of the revenue of whatnot, of the TV deals, like all that stuff. You get X amount. It's up to each school to divvy it up how they see fit or whatnot. Like, if they would have just done this 8 years ago or whatnot, when it started to become a conversation, then I think at this point the rules would have been clearly laid out. Yeah. And so then it's like, nope, those are the rules. Those were agreed upon as it became a thing. Like, there wouldn't be all of this, well, no, it's a new thing, so we don't really know what we're doing. Each school and each conference is doing it differently. So, and everybody based off of how the compliance offices see it, interpret the rules a little differently. Like, it's so different wherever you go and however you look at it, that because of that, they've lost the control of being able to say, no, this is how it should be. These are the actual rules. There's just a lot of interpreting what it looks like at each spot.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a long time coming. I mean, last thing on that, it was a long time coming with this NIL. I mean, they've been talking about it for a while. I think they put it into place, and I think it has been great.
Because they had to.
Right, 100%. They had to, and like you said, they didn't have a rule book that they were following. They just kind of were like, oh, we're going to kind of go as it goes, and it's coming back.
Yeah, they should have done it 8 years ago.
But my roundtable topic is, I'm going to go NFL. Penalties in the NFL, where I'm specifically talking about the Vikings game. This guy has literally, I can't even think of his last name right now. I'm drawing a blank. He's on the Broncos. Suspended again for 5 games after the game.
Kareem Jackson.
Yep, Kareem Jackson. 5 games suspended again. This is his second time in like 2 weeks he's been suspended, whatever. He's been suspended all the time. He's almost lost $1 million in fines.
Yeah, that's insane.
So my question is, though, how do you go back and suspend a guy 5 games? And in the game, it's not even a penalty that's called.
I don't understand.
It makes no sense to me. So my thing is, how do we not have something where it's like, hey, I don't know how you do it, but it's like, hey, that play was reviewed. It's almost like in college football where it's like, hey, targeting, and you review it, and then it's either targeting or not. I mean, at some point, it's like, what are we doing? Like, these guys are getting hit, and then you look at plays like yesterday's game or Monday's game where this lineman, literally, Patrick Mahomes is about to throw the ball, and he pushes him in the chest, and Mahomes jumps back 50 feet and just flails, and it's like, that's roughing the passer. He had the ball in his hands. How's that? What are we doing? What is the penalty? I think at some point, I will say this, I'll mark my words this episode, the NFL playoffs are going to be decided by a penalty, and people are going to be pissed. It's going to suck.
Last year, there was a game decided by a penalty.
It just doesn't make sense. It's like we tried the thing where it's like you challenge, and then all these refs have big egos and all that. They don't want to be proven wrong. I get that. But something needs to be reviewed where it's like, dude, what are we doing? Like, these games are too close to be decided by a penalty. That's my 2 cents. It's not even a roundtable. It's just frustration. Because, like, you don't call the penalty during the game, but then you suspend him for 5 games? Like, what the heck? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, he has had a tendency to
do that,
lay into people this year. It's like every single game almost.
I think this was probably his second game back from his last suspension.
Yeah, but I think this one, I don't know if the last one, but this one for sure was, either the first or the second one that wasn't called in game. Like the other ones
were called.
He was ejected in the game, which is understandable.
Right.
But if you don't call a penalty during the game, that I don't. It's also like
that was my frustration. Yeah.
It's also like the times that that players are fined for things they do in a game, even though it's not a penalty or anything.
Right.
That part.
It's like it's someone's job to review game tape.
Oh, they.
But who was the guy? Sure. It was some guy who he doesn't get a lot of he's like a fullback, and he got fined his whole paycheck for one game, and he literally just made a block and nothing called during the game.
Yeah.
And I think JJ Watt brought it up. It was he was fined $20,000.
Yeah.
And it was this wasn't even called.
Right.
I just don't get it. It's something needs to be reviewed or something needs to be held accountable for something.
If it's not called in the game, then
can't review it.
It's going to be pretty tough, in my opinion, to suspend somebody and have good reason to do it.
Right. It's almost like it was because his track record's bad. They were like, "Yep, people are talking about it. It's all over Twitter. We have to do it." So,
all right. NCAA football for me, Jane Daniels.
It's good.
Heisman favorite now.
Is he over Bo Nix?
Yes.
He runs for 200 yards and passes for 200 yards a game.
We talked about him a little bit last week.
Mm-hmm.
And LSU has 3 losses. How do you feel about somebody who has 3 losses, who plays for a team that has 3 losses, potentially winning the Heisman? Are you for it or are you against it?
I will say, I actually think, to be honest, I'm against it. I always think the Heisman should go to a player who's also on one of the best teams. I think looking at it, if you're in between 2 guys and one team has 1 loss and makes it to the playoffs, you have to give it to that guy. That was his job, to win the game. He's the best player. I get your stats are great. Okay, you lost 3 times. So it also becomes one of those things like we talked about. There was times with Michael Penix Jr., they were winning by 30, 40 points, so he didn't even have to throw for a touchdown.
Right.
So it's hard. It's so your team is losing. That's why I think that winning matters so much. I know it's a individual award, but it's well, if your team is losing all the time, you're going to have to throw for more yards. You're going to have to throw for more because it's garbage time.
Yeah.
So I think it should come down to wins and losses. I mean, if it's between...
Bo Nix did also have 6 touchdown passes in the first half last week.
Yeah, so they're both the same. It looks like close.
Yeah.
I mean,
they've both been dominating, but it's turning into a 2-horse race here.
100% 2-horse race. And I think Bo Nix deserves all the credit. They lost 1 game, which was a shootout to Washington, who's now in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Or whatever, number 4th ranked. I just think you can't have 3 losses. If they only have 1 loss, sure, 100%.
Even 2.
Even 2 is a better story because you can keep winning. But you have 3 losses. You're not even in contention for the Final Four.
Yeah, no, you're out.
So I think Bo Nix should take it. I think he's been playing unbelievable. Mm-hmm. That offense is very fun to watch.
What if they lose again though?
But he still only has 2 losses compared to LSU 3.
That's true,
right? So if mine,
but it takes in. If that's the case, then it would go a little bit more into stats.
100%.
Yeah.
100% agree. I think
1 to 3 is going to be a pretty tough mountain to climb.
Yeah.
All right. You got NBA?
Well, I wanted to get your thoughts on Draymond Green, but I just talked about. We talked about suspensions earlier in the NFL, or I did. Draymond Green.
You're all about suspensions.
Well, I just don't get how the guy is okay, so we're just 5 games. He put him in a headlock. What are we doing? And I said this before.
At least it was something.
At least 100%. I said this before. So he puts him in a headlock, which was completely unnecessary. I don't even get the point of it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like Rudy Gobert was doing anything. And then the second part is, it's one of those things where it's just at some point, these suspensions or something I think need to be more effective. It's the same thing we're talking suspensions with Michigan, who accepted their 3-game suspension, which now you think if they accepted it, they were fine with it. There was more details to come, and they didn't want to be suspended for the playoffs.
Yeah, he just wanted...
For sure, it's I'll take my 3 games. Mm-hmm. Okay, sure, great. So this suspension is just I don't get it. He's been suspended 5 times in his career. He's been fined. He has the most technicals for sure by an active player.
Draymond?
Yes, for sure.
I think the only reason for that is because Luka hasn't played long enough.
That's what I'm saying. He might catch up, but active right now, he for sure. I'm saying Luka's the same, not as same. I don't think Luka would ever put someone in a headlock.
No.
But the point, I'm just curious. I'm at some point, does it just become a distraction to the team? Draymond, you're not even on the floor.
Well, they're not. They're just not that good.
I know, which I think is a little bit of the frustration.
They need all their guys, and still, I just don't think they have it all the way this
I
year.
just don't get the headlock part. Like, what are you doing? Like, see ya. And then he was surprised when he got ejected.
Yeah, you can spin it however you want. Same thing with Steve Kerr's comments after the game. It's like, well, I didn't see it, but the guys on the bench told me that Rudy had Clay touching him around his neck, so that's why Draymond jumped in. And it's like, I mean, you can spin it as much as you want, as like, oh, you're trying to defend your guy, but like at the end of the day, you know what he's doing. So
I mean, it goes back to track record.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's not like, dude, no offense, but
in this case, it was called in the game. So
right, 100%. Good for them. Yeah, as it should have been.
Yep.
So
I love it.
Freaking NBA. I love it.
All right, we're moving on to the beer.
We're doing something different.
We are doing something different. As you can see, we have 5 beers laid out.
Yeah.
So we've talked about it a few times in the past. We're gonna test our beer knowledge here.
We are.
So there are 5 beers laid out. You can see them if you're watching.
You can see them, yes.
If you're watching the video. If you're not and want to, then
YouTube.
Pop over to our YouTube channel, Sippin' Sports.
Yep.
You can see this part. I don't even know what time it is. It would be probably about. What do you think?
We'll just go
around 15 minutes.
Go to the little ticker thing at the bottom
and click it.
You can just click it.
Oh, perfect.
Just like you can on Spotify. Yeah, it's nice.
All right, love it. All right, so we have 5 different kinds of light beer. We have. I'm gonna try and go in order. We have.
Order what?
In order of alphabetical.
Okay, I was gonna say, don't give me the order. That's the point of the game.
No, I don't. I'm gonna have to look because I kind of forgot the order.
Okay, that's fair.
We have Bud Light. We have Busch Light. We have Coors Light. We have
Michelob Light or Micholden Light.
Micholden Light, and we have Miller Light.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 5 different kinds of light beer. The funny thing is, we have one person who doesn't think he's gonna be able to get really any of them except for Miller Light, right?
Yeah, I'm confident in 1. If I get 3, great day. My over under is 2.5.
And
Nairum's over under is literally 4.5, 5.
I'm pretty confident.
He's very confident.
I
like it.
I think I'll be able to tell all of them.
Yeah. It's good.
So we'll just put I mean, if I get 4, then I'll get 5. So it's either 3.5 or 5, basically.
Yeah. Unless you guess the same one twice, which you shouldn't do.
I'm not going to do that.
So there you go.
All right. So I know which spots they are.
Kinda.
I'm gonna have to look, but Dave is.
I'll go first.
Testing them first.
So obviously, like Nairm said, these straws are out. We're taking a little sip, maybe 2, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Then you pick the beer. We'll write it down, I think, somewhere.
Yep.
And then we'll go from there. And then what's gonna happen? Nairm's gonna run over to the sink.
Dave's gonna entertain you.
Wash 1 or 2 of the straws, I think.
2 of the straws.
And then I'm gonna mix them back around.
Because unfortunately, I only have 8 straws. Yeah. I had to get the reusable ones because I care about the environment.
Good guy. So there it is. Then Nairm will go after that.
Yes. All right. So we're gonna start with this light pink.
So I get the ASMR. What is it called? AMSR?
Yep.
ASMR?
Yeah.
What does it stand for? Oh, can I move?
And we're starting with the light pink striped one. You can take another sip if you want.
No, I'm thinking. Let my palate work.
Okay. Yeah, take another sipperoo.
Fuck. Ooh. Almost just dropped a hard one. I don't think it's. Okay. Do you want me to write this? You want me to say it?
Say it, yeah.
I'm gonna go with Busch Light. This one. Do you want me to hold it?
Yeah, hold that while I write it down.
So Busch Light, light pink. What is that? Stripes? Would you say stripes?
We're just gonna go.
I'll go in a circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we're going blue stripe in the middle of the back row. You could say that louder so that people can laugh at you.
It's like foaming. Remember when you opened it, it like foamed back up the straw.
Yeah.
It's not Bud Light. What were the Micholden?
So the options are Bud Light, Busch Light, Coors Light, Micholden, and Miller Lite.
I think that's Coors.
Okay.
So number 2, teal. Would you say that's a teal? I would say that's a teal.
Turquoise.
Turquoise, nice, good call. What's this? Pink?
Pink. Straight pink.
You know,
Yeah, take another sip. Or 2.
I haven't had a Bud Light in a while. I think that's Bud Light.
Okay.
So that's Bud Light. Now I'm going to that pink. Or whatever that color is.
You can go to either one. Pink. Yeah, go to the light pink.
Which ones haven't I used yet?
So,
I've done the Busch, the Coors, the Bud.
yes, those are the 3 that you've guessed so far. Or if you want to.
Bud, Coors, Busch. So I have Micholden.
And Miller Lite left.
Okay.
Or you
Can I do the last one and then?
Yeah, if you want.
Okay.
I mean, you can move them around until I tell you which ones they are.
Micholden.
Okay.
So I think Miller
Okay.
and then Micholden.
All right.
Damn, I don't know, dude. That's
Wait, you said
Miller.
okay.
I said Miller and then this one's Micholden.
Okay.
I almost will die on that hill. I mean, look at that foam coming up. Look at that foam. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why we gotta wash them.
So what do I do?
All right. So you went Busch Light, Coors Light, Bud Light, Miller Lite, Micholden.
Ah man, you know? Yeah, I did.
Do you want to stay?
I'm gonna stay. Why is this foaming still?
I don't know. Do you want to look?
No. Oh, should I look?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do I look?
Actually, let's do this. Hold this for a sec.
Okay. Oh God. Did I already get one wrong?
Maybe.
Why? This thing is literally the straw. It's coming out the straw.
All right. So we're gonna take these out.
Okay.
Put them on here.
Okay. Well, you only need 2, right? Or do you want to just wash them?
Well, we're gonna take them out.
Okay. Oh, I think I see a blue can. I think I was right on one.
All right. So, number 1, Busch Light.
Got it?
Correct.
1 for 1.
Yep.
Number 2,
2, Coors Light. 2.
Coors Light.
Yep. 3,
Bud.
Bud Light.
Okay. 3 for 3.
4, Micholden.
No chance. This
Yeah.
is Miller Lite.
The last
The
one.
last one was Miller.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only one I was confident one was Miller, and I got that wrong.
Correct.
3. Hey, take the over.
That was, well, it's funny because literally the one that you said you were going to get, that you were confident that you were going to get, was Miller Lite. And
That did not
that's one
taste
of
like
the
Miller
2
Lite.
that.
So
you
this
got
was
correct.
Micholden.
This is Micholden, yeah. So there you go.
All right, well, decent. I'll take it.
Uh,
I'm doing a little switcheroo.
Entertain the people.
I will. Damn. Really?
Yeah.
I need to watch my language. How confident are you? What'd you say? Oh yeah, you're 5, right?
85.
The hard part is I need the straws. That's gonna tip over, isn't it? Damn. You know what? I'll say this. And people might like it, people might not. Miller Lite really isn't that bad. I used to think Miller Lite was really bad. I don't think Miller Lite's that bad anymore. Shout out Pat Stry, Miller Lite guy.
All right.
All right, you're gonna have to close your eyes because the water kind of pushed. No, like the water pushed it, so the straw. Oh, whoa. Nice lippy. But I'm saying like when you sip them.
Yeah, I'll close my eyes.
All right, they're in. Yeah, don't look because you can actually see it now. Decent.
Okay.
I'll rub it down. Where's the pen? Get the pen.
Yes.
All right. So David went 3 for 5. Damn.
3 for
Miller
5.
Lite.
All right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
number 1, Bud Light. Is this number 1 still? This straw?
Yeah, go and circle.
Let me-
Oh yeah. Wait, what? What do you mean?
I just wanted one more taste.
Okay.
Yeah, Bud Light.
Yeah. Number 2.
Bud Light.
Number 2.
Yeah. Is
Okay.
this number 3
Right there is number 3. Yeah.
that I have mine on?
It's a big ASMR or whatever. Number 3.
Mm. I think that's Busch.
Busch.
Mm-hmm. It's also, I feel like drinking out of a straw is also
A
different.
little harder.
Yeah.
Well, and also, so go down. Nope. Put the hand right there.
Okay.
So that's number 4. The hard part also too is you don't ever get to clean your palate.
Yeah.
So you could be going off of an old palate. Number 4.
What are the?
So you did Bud, Miller, Busch. So you have Coors and Micholden.
That's Micholden.
Okay.
How close am I?
That's
This one?
right there. Yeah, sorry. I was writing this down. Last one. So technically it would be Coors. But tell me what you think. Uh-oh. Doesn't love the Coors.
Let me try.
So this is 3 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this 1?
You're on 1 right now. Oh god, now your palate's all whacked. It's whacked.
No, that's Bud. Mm. Man, I'm having a tough time between.
Oh, that's 5.
This 5, yeah. I'm having a tough time between Coors and Busch.
What? Literally, you drink Busch the most.
I know, and Coors is second most, but they taste
The same.
fine the most.
Some would say.
All right, one more.
You're on 5.
Yeah. I'm saying that one's Coors.
Coors?
I'm gonna
Last one?
stick with that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Alright, I'll go look at them. Okay. Hold this. Okay.
I
So-
don't feel great about number 5.
Number 1.
Yep.
You said Bud Light. It is Busch Light.
Dang it.
0 for 1.
That's not good.
Number 2. No, it's really not. This is not good. Number 2. You said Miller Lite. That is Micholden.
Yeah. That's really bad.
Number 3. You said Busch Light. Obviously not. It is Coors Light.
All right.
So you are going to be 0 for 5, my man.
Over.
Number 4. You said Micholden. That is Bud Light. And number 5, you said Coors Light. That is Miller Lite. You literally went 0 for 5 in your own game.
Yeah. That's really bad.
That was the worst you could do, possibly.
Dang, I was really confident in the first couple.
What'd you say, Bud?
I said Bud, Miller, Busch.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Dang it.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. Well,
I think after you went back, you just started messing with your head. You were like, I don't know if you can switch.
So I had to stay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you had to. Because if you switch one, you'd have to switch 2.
Right.
So.
That's just really disappointing.
So if you took the
I'm really
under on Chris,
myself.
We'll have to run this back
To be
next
honest
year
with
at the
you.
same time. Maybe we'll do this every single year at the same time, the Thanksgiving episode, and we'll just do it, and we'll see how much better we've gotten / worse we've gotten.
Yeah, man, that's really not good.
No, Chris, you were over.
Dang, I didn't get 1. I didn't even get Busch Light.
I know,
That's the most.
That's what I was saying. I was like, dude, this guy is a Busch magnet. All right, well there it is.
There you go.
Yeah, I guess that's what they call a review.
So 3 for 5 for you, Dave, and 0.
Wait, what did we?
So you
I didn't write down what they actually were though. So I was just wondering if we had the similar taste with the one I got wrong.
You got these 2 incorrect. So you got these 2 flipped.
Yeah.
First 3 right, and mine were
Busch, Micholden, Coors, Bud, Miller Lite. I wonder how many people do you think would be able to do that?
Coors, and then what was the 4th one?
Oh, Bud Light.
Bud.
And then Miller.
Yeah, see, mine, I mean...
You were so confident in that first one.
I don't really know about the Miller. That was just not good, because I would have guessed Micholden and Miller Lite. Like, to me, those 2 are similar. To me, Busch Light and Coors Light are similar.
Yeah.
So, but my guesses were completely off.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's hard though, because you like you said, the straw might play a factor.
We should have had a glass of water.
Yeah, glass of water to clean the palate. Or I think what we should do next time is we should just, what we could do next time is we could just do glasses. Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We might do this once a year. We'll see how we're doing.
Yep. But there you go. That's
there
what
it
we're
is
doing for the beer today.
There it is.
All right, we're moving on to basketball day today.
Basketball?
It's feast week.
Yeah, basketball is my favorite sport.
Let's start with the NBA.
Yeah, we are, this is live. So we talked about this off air. There was a game, Atlanta Hawks, Indiana Pacers. Highest over-under was 252. And a half. As we currently speak at the end of the third quarter, it is literally at 233.
Yeah.
That could reach 300 points.
It probably should.
Dude, 300?
Because it's a close game, too.
That's what I'm saying. It's just the start of the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
some
a live
teams
update.
don't even, it's 114 to 119. And some teams don't score that in the whole game.
A lot of, I mean, Cleveland, wow. But NBA.
There you go.
That's crazy.
So, a little update. Don't look too closely.
Okay.
Currently, as of recording, there's 3 teams that are undefeated at home.
Undefeated at home?
Yes.
Okay.
And 1 team that is winless at home.
I'm going to say, you
Can you name them? Yeah.
The Timberwolves
are
undefeated at home.
Yep.
I'm going to say the Celtics, undefeated at home.
Yep.
And I'm going to say the Sixers.
No.
The Nuggets? No.
Yep.
Oh, are they? Really? I thought they were struggling.
Those are the 3. Well, I mean, they're 3rd in the West, so they're not starting too hard. But...
No, I know. I just thought they would lose it. Yeah.
And then who's the only team in the whole NBA that is winless at home? They've not won 1 game at home yet.
Pistons.
They've played 6 games at home.
Pistons.
Incorrect.
Is it a team that's towards the bottom?
I mean, yeah. You have to be towards the bottom if you haven't won a game at home. Nope.
Damn. West or East?
West. It was a little bit surprising.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers.
Nope.
The Warriors.
Nope.
Kings. Am I getting hot or cold?
Cold opposite coast.
Cold opposite coast. I have no idea.
The Grizzlies.
Oh, they've been ass, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, they've been out to a very slow start.
Here's the deal. You got to win your games at home to be a good team. And that's what the Wolves are doing. That's what the Nuggets are doing. That's what the Celtics are winning. That's why it's literally 1-2 in the West and number 1 in the East.
So I have a question for you. I just saw this. There's been one team in the whole NBA that has not won on the road yet. Who is it?
Has not won on the road?
Yep. I'll give you a hint. At home, they're 6-1. On the road, they're 0-5.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
6-1, 0-5. Is the record 6-6?
Nice.
I'm gonna guess the Rockets.
Bang, Chris Nair. There you go. Well done, sir.
That means I look too much at the standings.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, he's like analyzing his head. He's like, there's 2 teams, 6-6.
Well, you want to know why I remember that is because I was looking through the standings earlier, and because we talked about the Rockets literally 2 episodes ago,
right?
When we were giving an update, and we were like, they're the number 3 seed in the West.
Yeah.
Right.
So far, they have. 4.
Well, they've lost 3 in a row, and they're 6-6. They were 6-3. Now they're 6-6. So
it's kind of crazy. They literally played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 straight home games, and on that homestand, they went 6-1. They're on the road
against decent teams.
Down the road, they're 0-3.
Yeah.
So
the scheduling is so interesting for the NBA because there are a lot of games. Like, you're gonna get these weird stretches of games where it's like, I mean, the Rockets, they play 6 games in a row at home. The Wolves, they're on a big, long road trip, and they play 4 games in a row. They're gone for like a week and a day or something like that.
Yeah.
And then like the Wolves, they play the Warriors in back-to-back games on a Sunday and a Tuesday.
Home and away? Or home?
No.
Away.
At Golden State, both games.
Okay, yeah.
And so it's just like, through the regular season, it's inevitable that there's going to be weird things where it's just a gigantic road trip or a gigantic homestand, or you play the same team in 2 games back-to-back. Like, to me, those things don't really make any sense. But at the end of the day, like, because they play so many games, then it's bound to happen for some teams.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to see how the NBA schedule, like the NFL scheduling is so planned out and methodical.
Right.
Whereas the NBA schedule, it's just like there's all of these fine nuances that like bring these weird situations.
I would assume,
and that's probably why the tempers flared in Golden State, because it was literally the second game
they play each other
in 2 days.
Yeah. So yeah, and because I know they usually, they sometimes what they do is like if you go over to LA, like that you'll play like the Clippers.
Yeah, it's kind of
you'll
like
do like a little away game, but you won't play the same
pause.
team. Yeah. But I do think it's crazy. I mean, it's hard with the NBA though because it's once a week, so it's like okay, it's very rare. I think even in the NFL. To get
the NFL.
Oh, the NFL. I mean, once a week. The NFL, it's hard where it's like you don't even really get back-to-back home games.
No.
Like you might, but then you might do an away game away game or something like that, or whatever. But yeah, I think the NBA scheduling is just so odd to me. But you have to play 82 games.
Yeah, it makes sense to have.
What is it? 41, I would assume.
Yep.
Okay.
It makes sense to have a couple away games and a couple home games, just like. Oh, you're traveling to the West Coast. You're going to play the Lakers and then the Clippers and then the Warriors and then you come back home. Yeah. Or you play the Suns and then the Lakers and the Clippers and then you come back home. But like playing the same team twice on the road both times, like that doesn't make any sense to me. Or it's like a 6-game road trip and you're gone for like 11 days in a row. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah, they seem to do that quite a bit. I mean, you look down here, they do it again. In February, they go at Chicago, at Milwaukee, all the way to LA, and then Portland.
Yeah, so it's literally, all right, so their first game of that road trip is February 6th. Their last game is the 15th. That's 9 days.
On the road.
From a Tuesday to the next Thursday, on the road, and they played Portland back-to-back.
Well, what's even crazier is you look right here. It's literally Wednesday to a Monday. So in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 6 days, you're playing 4 away games. That's a lot too.
Yeah, the Wolves' schedule is kind of messed up.
I mean, they have to do it somehow, and maybe this is a question for someone else. They have to do it where it's like, hey, you play every team plays a certain amount of back-to-backs. Like, they have to do that, right?
I don't think so.
Because, I mean, I started looking at the schedule, like, we go at Detroit and then home against Memphis on a back-to-back. That's weird. Like, that's wild to me.
Yeah, the scheduling is very interesting. I mean, it's planned out where you play everybody in your division. I think it's
4 times?
It's either 4 or 6. And then you play everybody in your conference. So, let's see here. 16. That'd be probably, well, we do play the Warriors once. Probably 2 or 3 times for everybody in your conference outside of your division. And then everybody in the other conference 1 time home, 1 time away.
Got it. Interesting.
So
yeah, I mean, it's a lot of games. It's tough, but yeah. So we're kind of getting ramped up. NBA. Any surprise teams you think, or any teams that are not surprising?
I would say
I think we knew Memphis was going to struggle, right?
They were going to struggle. Yeah, I think they've struggled more than people might have thought.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny because if you look at the standings, honestly, a lot of it makes sense. You know, like you look at the West, you got the Spurs at the bottom.
Yep.
That makes sense. They're very young.
Also a 9-game losing streak.
You got the Trailblazers second to the bottom. They're also very young and they don't have a ton of talent. You got the Grizzlies without Ja Morant. You got the Jazz, who are also not that good. I mean, you could consider the Rockets a surprise, but they're in 9th out of 15. So it's not like they're
literally like 2 games above, or a game above, let's say, the Clippers, who are not in it. Technically 11th.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And then, I mean, you look at the other teams, like kind of honestly where everybody thought.
I mean, if you flip the Rockets and the Clippers, and the Grizzlies, and who didn't make the playoffs? I mean, that's pretty much the playoff set right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Wolves are probably exceeding expectations to where people thought they were going to be. But like the other team, I mean, maybe the Thunder a little bit. You know, like they're young, and so you expect them maybe not to be towards the top, but like in the middle to top, middle to upper.
Yeah.
But like everybody else, I mean, the Suns have gone through injuries, so that's why they're in the middle. Right. But like it makes sense where everybody is, other than maybe the Wolves and the Thunder.
Yeah, and I think there will be some growing pain. I mean, injuries, you can't predict them, obviously, and like it's great to start out hot. But I just think it's crazy, like with the Suns, it's like, I mean, Booker's out for what, 2 to 3 weeks? Or Beal, I mean, is out 2 to 3 weeks with his back.
So Beal's out probably another 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, so 2 weeks. So it's like they've played, 1 game?
He hasn't played.
That's what I'm saying. They played 1 game altogether against the Wolves.
No, they didn't play.
Beal didn't even play?
No.
Oh, so they haven't even played altogether yet.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. It's like...
He was going to, but then he was a late scratch.
Okay. But I'm just saying, yeah, it is kind of interesting, and then it's kind of like, I think this might be very obvious, but it's like one of those crazy things where it's like, when you look at the teams that are towards the top or even in the middle, like, they don't lose a lot of games in a row. Like, they figure it out. Like, you look at these bottom teams, like, this might be dumb to say, but like, a lot of these teams have losing streaks of more than 5 to 6 games.
At the very bottom.
I don't think you'll ever see the Nuggets do that. Or even the Timberwolves. I mean, you just don't lose 5 to 6 straight games as a great team. Or a team that's potentially going to make the playoffs.
No, I mean, that's why they're at the bottom.
Right. It's just crazy to me.
I mean, so then in the same conversation as you go to the East, it's like, all right, so the Pistons, they've been bad for forever. Not a surprise that they're at the bottom.
I mean, they're 0-10 in their last 10 games.
That's because they're on a 12-game losing streak.
That's crazy.
The Wizards, they're awful, and Jordan Poole might be the most overrated player in the whole league. I will stand on that. He sucks. And he thinks that he's really good, and he wants star treatment, but he cannot lead a team and be the main guy. And I am so confident about that because he just doesn't have it all going on in the head.
Well, he doesn't have the mentality. I mean, I saw videos of him. Literally, they were close to a game.
He wants to be the guy.
Yeah, but that's fine.
And everything that comes with it. But he doesn't have it going on.
He loves the stardom, but he doesn't want to put, like, he's not a star.
No.
He's not a star. And the problem with him is...
Wait, say that again, because that was perfectly put.
He loves the stardom, but he's not a star.
Yeah.
So he's just dumb.
Bang!
I mean, quote that. That could be on a freaking t-shirt.
That was electric.
I mean, that was pretty good. But what I'm saying is, like, you watch him too, and there's clips all the time of him. It's like, and then, I remember, I can't take credit for all this, but I remember somebody tweeted it and was like,
great.
It's easy to not pay attention when you know you're the fourth or fifth option on a team, which he was in Golden State. But when you're the main guy, quote unquote, and you're not paying attention to the play, and then you have to go over to the coach after and be like, oh shit, what's the play? That's bad.
All eyes are on you too.
Right. So it's like the cameras are catching that. You don't make the shot because you pull up you play street ball basically. I mean, he's out there just hucking up shots, which he could do for the Warriors because when he went out there against second team guys, sure, he was great and he's a great second team guy. I don't know how a team decided to give him that much money.
Because they saw the flashes. And like when you're not one of the main guys and you're playing against the second crew,
you look great.
It's going to be easier to score.
Right.
And you have a little bit more freedom because in theory, the other main guys aren't going to be on the floor as often with you.
100%.
And so it's a little bit easier to show.
I just think it is crazy where it's like,
yeah.
Somebody literally thought he was the guy. Yeah, when has he ever shown he could be the guy?
I don't like him. I think he's way, way overrated.
Yeah, now he's in Washington.
All right, but then, okay, so you can keep going up. Charlotte Hornets, terrible. Chicago Bulls, awful. Toronto Raptors, very mediocre. I feel like they've been in this constant just cycle of
mediocrity.
Should we trade our players? Should we try and get somebody better?
Yeah.
After Kawhi, it's just been this constant cycle, and they don't really know what to do, so they haven't done anything, and it's just like...
They got rid of Fred VanVleet, right? He's Rockets?
Yeah, but we're just going to be very okay.
Yeah. Who's their new coach?
It's a young guy.
Oh.
Like, a new guy. Completely new guy. But then, like, I mean, you look at the teams in the playoffs, or, like, in the top 10 out of the 15, like, none are too surprising. I think the Orlando Magic are exceeding expectations, and I think the Pacers are exceeding expectations. But other than that, like, the Cavaliers have had injuries throughout the season so far, so that's probably why they're a little bit further down. But other than that, I mean, you have the three teams that you expect to be at the top: the Celtics, the Sixers, and the Bucks. And
you're right there.
I guess technically you could consider the 76ers a little bit exceeding expectations. I mean, they spent some time at the top of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
But, I mean, nobody really knew what to expect with Harden's whole situation. So I think it's impressive that they got to the top and they've sustained being up there after they traded him. I think that's very impressive. And to be quite honest, as I was watching some of their games in the very early season, like some of their first couple games, I thought to myself, wow, there is no way that this team is going to be able to be good enough to compete against the really good teams.
Yeah.
Because it just didn't seem like their offensive flow was going to be able to, like, hold up against the better teams. Like, I mean, if you're playing the Wizards or the Bulls, like, even a mediocre offense will look great. But if you're playing a team like, I mean, the Heat, the Knicks, the Cavaliers, I feel like those teams are good enough defensively where if you don't do a number of things right on offense, like, you're not going to do very well.
Right. Yeah, and I think the Sixers, I mean, obviously Tyrese Maxey has stepped up too.
Totally.
In a big way.
That makes a huge difference.
And Embiid's playing very well too. So, I mean, it's like they have their guys. It's just this kind of, can they continue to compete? And I think they look good so far, I guess, and we'll see what happens.
I don't really think that there's going to be that, I mean, teams will shuffle around a little bit, but in terms of just like the overall picture, I could completely see it being like this at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So you have the Celtics at the top, Celtics, 76ers, Bucks at the top. The middle section is like the Heat, the Knicks, the Cavaliers, the Magic, and the Pacers. Like those 5 will kind of mix around in the middle. The Hawks will probably underperform like they usually do. And the Nets are just like, they don't have as much talent, but they try hard. Like they play really hard. And so like they can kind of figure it out. And so like it would not surprise me at all if those groups of teams shuffled around a little bit throughout the year. But at the end of the year, they
kind of
ended up exactly around where they are right now.
Yeah, I could agree to that. I think there is a lot. I mean,
but that's been the case in the East.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where it's like come playoff time in just a 5-game series or a 7-game series, like the better teams just like the Celtics will never lose a 7-game series in the first round. They just won't. They might lose a game, but they won't, I don't think, lose a 7-game series. They're too good. I mean, the Sixers are the same way. I think they just play their best ball at the end of the year, but
they have enough offensive firepower.
Right now, yeah, Porzingis, they
avoid that.
Yeah.
That's all I got, NBA. I feel good about that. My other thing was talking about in-season tournament. We can talk about that next time.
Yeah, I think it's interesting.
Got a couple.
I think the courts are kind of cool.
We got a couple games left in it, so I feel like the next time we talk basketball, it'll still be happening.
It'll be coming up to the time, yeah.
So we can talk about that next time.
Oh yeah.
NCAA basketball.
Yeah, well, I think this week, like you said, is a big one. I mean, a lot of these teams are playing. What is it called? Feast Week. Is that this week? Is that what it's called? It's the tournament, basically the tournaments that they go in Maui and.
I feel like Feast Week is last week.
Yeah, but anyway, so it's those tournaments. I mean, you're getting some good games now.
A lot of holiday tournaments.
Yeah, so it's a lot of good games, which is finally you're starting to see some teams. I mean, what was it last week? 2 weeks ago was what, like the Michigan State, Duke.
So you had the Champions Classic last week,
yeah,
which is the same 4 teams every year. It's Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, and Michigan State. Yep. So every year those 4 teams play, and they mix up who they play, but it's always those 4 teams. And in a normal year, most of those teams, if not all, are ranked at the beginning of the year. So it's a good way to see those teams in a big time matchup. And so that happened. I mean, as you get into these tournaments, we were talking a little bit before, but like you look at the Maui Invitational this year, like that's quite possibly the best that the Maui Invitational has been all like ever.
Right.
You have the number 1 team in Kansas, you have the number 2 team in Purdue, you have the number 4 team in Marquette, 7 in Tennessee. Like those are the 4 teams in the semifinals.
Right.
And all 4 of those teams have a realistic shot at being in the Final Four.
Easily. You can make a case for all of them.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think it's good matchups. I think it's what people want to see. I mean, easily, like you already said, you have the Champions Classic, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And so you have those 4 teams, and now you have Kansas playing Marquette live tonight on Tuesday, the 1 team versus the 4 team. So it's like this is a good test for both of them. Because you kind of see and preview like, hey, this is what it's going to take to make it to the Final Four or beyond.
Yeah, that's the best part about the beginning of the year in college basketball, especially like I think playing in those big time tournaments makes a huge difference towards the end of the year. Like it's not going to make that big of a difference for like a Purdue or a Kansas. Like if you play in the Big 10 or the Big 12 or the SEC, like you have enough games built into your schedule just in your conference where you can build your resume. But for the teams that are maybe not quite as good or they don't fulfill the expectations as the conference season goes on, it gives them opportunities to grab a win at the beginning of the year. Even if they struggle as their conference schedule starts, they still have that 1 win on their resume at the beginning of the year.
Right.
That will help bolster their case to make the tournament, even if they didn't play maybe as well as the year kind of went on.
Yeah. Well, it's always like that once they come down to like, we start getting to March Madness time. It's always like they take the teams and they're like key wins, key losses. And this can obviously turn into a huge key win.
Right.
If you beat one of these good teams. Obviously, like you said, a lot of these matchups, both teams are probably, I mean, it's safe to say they're probably going to make the tournament.
The Maui Invitational is not a very good representation, but like there's plenty of other tournaments where it's like team that's ranked 30th versus team that's ranked 48th. You know, it's all based off of where they're ranked, and like they categorize it in quadrants. So it's like if it's a top 25 team away, or if it's a top 25, I don't remember the exact categorizations, but it's like if it's a top 25 team regardless of where it is, then that's a quad 1 win. If it's a top 50 team on a neutral or away court, then that's a quad 1 win. If it's a top 60 team, I'm just throwing out arbitrary numbers, but like if it's a top 60 team and it's an away game, then that's also a quad 1 win. And so it like works with where the game is played at and where the team that you're playing is ranked. And then based off of that, that's how the resume gets built at the end of the year. But like the tournaments at the beginning of the year are huge for the middle tier, the middle 100%. Ground, because I mean, as you look at it, or if they don't play in as good of a conference, like this is when you're gonna get the games against better teams or teams from bigger conferences. And if we'll just say if a Dayton is being compared to an LSU, well, 2 or 3 days ago, Dayton beat LSU. And so even though they're in what some would consider a lesser conference, they already beat a SEC team on a neutral court. Like that's going to hold some weight as you go into the end of the year and building resumes and looking at that. Right.
Well, and I think it's a big thing too, like with you give your team some confidence going into it. Like, you know, if you play these teams tight, you play these teams well, you can go play with a lot of people. So yeah, I think these tournaments are fun though. I mean, to start the year, you still have a few weeks before you start playing conference. So at least it's good to see you're playing not the Sisters of the Poor every game and dominating them. And next thing you know, you're 10-0.
No offense to the Sisters of the Poor.
No offense. Hopefully no offense taken. I think they're a good team. I don't know about this year, but like, that's what I'm saying. It's exciting to see like Kansas match up against a team like Kentucky, where Kentucky comes out and punches them in the face, and next thing you know, Kansas comes back in the second half. Right?
Kentucky impressed me, I will say.
Yeah. And they're young.
I was impressed with how they played against Kansas. I was also impressed at how Kansas fought back and won the game. But my takeaway from that game was Kentucky is better than
people think.
Than I thought.
Well, I will say this, I think we talked about this too. Kentucky is always the one team who they start out the year and they're always slow. Or they always go through like a rough patch, and then all of a sudden it's some switch. You flip a switch, and next thing you know, it's like, okay, Kentucky's on a roll, and they're going into the tournament on a hot streak.
Yeah, sometimes it's not like right away at the beginning of the year, but it's definitely in the first half where they're still trying to figure out college basketball and how it's different than high school basketball.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of them with Kentucky, obviously being the school who's probably the most one and dones, or most like, hey, you're a top recruit. We got 6 freshmen coming in. We have 4 freshmen that are starting. I mean, they're usually the team that has the most like that, or all these freshmen. So I think it does take a little bit to get used to. I mean, you could be a great high school player and a top 50 recruit, top 100. College basketball is different. All these guys can play. This is different.
And it's just bigger and more physical.
Bigger, more physical, faster game.
Way
like,
faster,
it's
way
going.
Faster.
And so I think it does take a while. But like I said, yeah, I think they surprised a lot of people. I know they're always the one team that's like, oh, it's Kentucky, so they're of course going to be good. Okay, well, now they're proving it. So yeah, it's good. I mean, I just don't. You watch Kansas play, it's like they just really don't have a downfall. They just don't. Like Hunter Dickinson is firing people up. Like they just are good.
Yeah, I think they're. If teams leave DeJuan Harris open and he's not able to make the shot, because I mean, I don't remember his exact stat line, but he was like 5 for 5 from 3.
Yeah, but he's not a shooter.
Exactly. So if teams leave him open and he doesn't make them, I think he's improved his shooting, but it's not the first thing that he wants to do. What was he?
Yeah, 5 of 6.
Yeah,
17
5
12, 23 points.
So he was 5 of 6 from 3. I don't know how many games he's going to be doing that the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So if they leave him open and he doesn't make shots, I think that will be an issue. Obviously, if they get in foul trouble, I mean, if you look at that game, when they played a good, solid team in Kentucky,
mm-hmm.
Hunter Dickinson had to have a 20-20 game,
mm-hmm.
and DeJuan Harris had to bang literally every single 3 that he shot.
Yep. One of them you had McCullough Jr. had a triple-double.
Yeah.
Points, 10
so,
rebounds,
like, their guys showed out.
Yeah.
Which, against a good quality team in Kentucky, that's what you need.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely some room where teams will be able to attack them.
Well, I think there's also sometimes too,
especially
you'll see,
on the boards.
Yeah, you'll see like that, but you'll also see too, like throughout the whole year, like when you're playing at a neutral site early on, you're kind of also getting that amped up. The season becomes a long season when you're going on the road, you're playing whatever. It's gonna be tough.
I'm very excited
to see them play Houston.
Yeah,
Twice.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
I mean, Houston's my boys.
So if Kansas struggles on the boards, because I mean, Hunter Dickinson had 20 something, and McCullough had over 10,
mm-hmm.
right? So they had those 2 guys basically get every single rebound.
Yeah.
I don't think that Houston will let that happen. Like,
no.
They crash the boards so hard, and so.
Well, Houston's also a defensive-minded team. They play defense hard and they fly around.
And they crash the boards.
Right.
So the rebounding will be huge for Kansas against Houston, and that will be very interesting to watch.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun to watch. I think this is like Houston's year 2, where it's like every year they play and then they go into the tournament and you're like, well, they haven't really played anybody, and then they go to the tournament and it's like, okay.
Okay, my question for you, last question.
Also, if anybody cares, live update, it went over 300 total points. It's at 107, 307.
I hope it goes to overtime.
I hope it does too.
We need it.
That is wild.
We need it.
No defense.
Okay, last question for college basketball.
Okay.
If you were a top 25 recruit.
Top 25, okay.
You can pick anywhere you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
You're about 6'5", wing player.
Okay.
Legit.
Yes. Thank you.
Top 25 player in the country.
Yeah.
You could go anywhere you want. They all want you.
Okay.
Where are you going?
One school. Just one.
I would say they all want you, so you have your pick of the litter.
100%. I think
you can only pick one.
Choice would actually be Kansas, because
really?
I think we went and toured their campus because one of my buddies was potentially going to go there, and we went into the basketball arena. I don't think we were supposed to, but we went in there. Allen Fieldhouse. Electric. It's electric. It's even cool when there's no fans there. Yeah. I know you watch them on TV. It's crazy. I would say my other second pick would be Duke, because I think Duke would be sick to play with, but I would first go with Kansas. I think that place is crazy. I mean, it would be either one would be cool.
Yeah.
What do you have? Are you one of those two?
I'd pick Duke.
Duke, yeah, just because of the tradition.
Well,
I thought you'd be a UCLA guy. Are they not good enough anymore?
I mean,
that used to be your school.
No, I would just rather have Nike versus Jordan.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a huge Jordan basketball shoe person.
Mm-hmm. You're more Nike. Okay.
And so living in Beverly Hills would be lovely.
Would you be able to focus? Go to class? Well, you probably don't have to go to class. Your NIL money's coming in. Yeah.
Yeah, keep it coming on in.
Yeah, okay.
But, I mean...
Look at you setting your priorities, though. That's very good by you, Chris. Because I know your mom and dad are going to listen. That's very good by you.
My priority is
school.
Having good shoes.
Yeah, good. Yeah, not even school. We didn't even talk about school.
Duke is a very good school. I mean, UCLA is a good school, too, but Duke's a very good school.
It's easier to stay focused when you're in North Carolina versus when you're on the beach.
In LA, baby.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to go back to Pepperdine.
That would also be nice. Not big time enough. I mean, top 25 in the country, David.
Yes.
I got
you could stay home, play for Minnesota.
That ain't gonna happen. There's zero. I can guarantee
There'd be zero chance.
Zero chance.
Yeah, the game ended.
0.
309 total points. That's crazy though. But yeah, I think it would be fun. I think Kansas. I mean, those places are just so.
The thing about Kansas is they're Adidas. I don't really mess with Adidas basketball shoes.
Yeah, I think it'd be sick to play in Allen Fieldhouse. I mean,
it would be
cool too. I mean, all these schools you really can't pick. I mean, I would love to play for the Houston coach. I think he's a dog. Yeah, of course. Yeah, and he's the only guy that wears sweatpants and a polo.
Yeah,
he's the only guy.
All right, let's move on. We got NFL smash don't pass.
Tough week for us last week.
Very tough week.
I mean, injuries were part of it.
They were a big part of it, but we're back for another round. Who's your quarterback?
My quarterback is the Josh Dobbs, projected 16.9. In his games that he has started, he has a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown in all of them. Playing against the Bears at home Monday night. Doesn't look like Jett is going to play. Don't matter. I think he'll ball out.
All right, I'm going same game. Justin Fields, 17.4.
Starting to run a lot more.
He is going to run a lot more, and he likes throwing it to DJ Moore, which is probably a pretty good idea for him. I just think that it's going to be one that he gets back into it.
I mean, he's going to have to. Yeah. Last week, I think he had 19 or 20 points, and he had like 2
And I'm hoping for just a big-time game for the Vikes.
Yeah.
And so
I hope the Vikes
probably be close.
Yeah.
Because we don't know how to dominate a team, but
especially on Monday night. Yeah. No, screw it.
Uh,
my running back is Rachaad White, Buccaneers, projected 15 points. Last 5 weeks, he's smashed that by 2 or 3 points average. So like the only guy that Baker Mayfield throws to, they literally said, I'm almost positive I can pull up his stats. Literally checkdowns. His only time he catches balls are checkdowns, and he's like, in this season, he's catching 100% of the passes.
That's pretty good.
Because they're only checkdowns.
Yeah, that's really good. I'm gonna go Jahmyr Gibbs, 16.2 Thursday during the day, I should say, Thanksgiving. So if you're
Thursday morning, somebody even say 11:30, right?
It is 11:30. Yeah. It's early. I'm gonna be coming home from football, turning that game on.
This should be I don't think it's gonna be a good game, but
no,
should be fun to watch.
Game. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is literally on his way to dominating the second half of the year, and even though David Montgomery's back, like Jahmyr Gibbs is bringing him down the field every single time. So they want to get him the ball.
I like it. My pass catcher, tight end from your Cleveland Browns, David Njoku, projected 11.8. Watched him last game. He smashed that. New quarterback, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, literally just checks it down to him every single play. He literally just runs a little curl route. Doesn't matter, 3rd and 8. I'm getting 4 yards. In fantasy, that's 1.4. I'll take it.
All day of the week.
Yeah.
I'm going Zay Flowers, 13.1. They lost Mark Andrews last week. They're going to have to throw it to somebody. Zay Flowers is going to be the number 1 option in those situations. And he's electric with the ball, so they just want to get to him. 13.1, that's easy.
13.1. All right, who you got for your dog of the week?
Wait. Whoop whoop.
Come on, Chris.
I know, but I was shocked because we flipped it.
We flipped the roll. We'll try it again. Dog of the week.
Whoop whoop.
There it is.
I'm going Chargers. They play Sunday night against
Baltimore.
It's
going to be a good game.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll say this about the Chargers. If the Chargers do not win this game, their coach is fired.
It might be.
What are they, 4-6?
It might be next week.
That's what I'm saying.
That
next week.
He could get fired.
No, that's what I'm saying. Next week he's going to get fired if they lose.
Yeah, it's not good.
And they actually should lose this game.
They probably should. However, we'll see if the Ravens rally around losing their main offensive weapon.
Is it in LA?
It's in LA. Yes,
Okay.
that was part of the reason why I picked them.
Yeah.
So they're 3.5 point underdogs, and I think that, I mean, let's be honest, the Chargers probably should have beaten the Packers. For some reason, they couldn't catch the ball. I will say it was hard to, like, I can just put myself in that situation. The whole sun and the shade thing at Lambeau Field is kind of messed up.
During a day game too, yeah.
Yeah, like half the field was in the sun and half the field was in the shade, literally the whole game. And so the Chargers receivers could not catch at all. It was ridiculous. And so in a controlled environment, at home, in a dome, hopefully they learn how to catch during this week of practice and they can win.
I do think it is crazy though, like, before I give mine, like, it is kind of crazy where it's like you would think a stadium like that most games are going to play at 12 o'clock. you have to put something up on one side of the field. So
well, it's just an open air stadium.
That's what I'm saying though. But it's just like you wouldn't want that as a player, right?
Not
Like
really.
I watch sometimes when I watch.
That's like baseball.
Yeah, it's hard. I watch who is it? The Cowboys sometimes when they play at 3:00,
Mm-hmm.
and the sun is literally beaming in from one side, and it's like looking at that. I'm like, do players like hate that? You have to hate that.
Yeah, probably.
My dog of the week is the New York Giants and Tommy DeVito taking on the Patriots. Both teams
are bad.
They're ass. But I like the Giants to come out. They had a big win last week against Commanders.
That would be a 2-game win streak.
2-game win streak. Put it on the board.
Oh,
Daniel Jones is gone. Tommy DeVito's the guy.
I'm really worried for you.
I am very worried. But I think the Patriots literally should fire Bill Belichick too. I think there's a lot of coaches that are on the hot seat if we're talking coaches.
Probably.
So that's his topic for a different day.
All right, let's move on to Phase 4 then.
Tell them what we're doing.
We'll finish out the episode. So last week we started it. T-Swift Taylor version albums, top 4 Phase 4 songs on each album. Last week we did Fearless.
Yep.
This week we're doing Red.
Yeah. Last week we also had a great guest, Abby Meyer. Thank you for participating.
Yeah, thanks.
You were fantastic.
We're going to take a week off from guest pickers.
Yeah. So we're going to go me and Chris, T-Swift. How much would you consider yourself a Swiftie?
Moderate.
Wait, what album are we doing?
Red.
Oh, we didn't say that before.
Yeah, we did.
You didn't even call it. Okay, we're going to try it again.
Wait, I did say
No, you
Red.
did say Red. You're right. I know it said something wrong. Okay, I have the same song, so you're good.
Okay.
Can you call it this time? That was a perfect flip.
Heads.
This is not a perfect flip. It is heads though. That was not a perfect flip.
I'm going to go with First.
Okay.
All Too Well. 10 minutes.
Say that again?
10-minute version.
Of what's the song?
All Too Well.
Okay. I'm going to go with
Give it to me. Give it to me.
22. Right on your list. We don't really think alike.
It was on my list.
We didn't have one last time that was on your list. And then The Last Time is my second song.
Very good. That wasn't on my list.
Okay.
Mine is going to be Red.
Yeah, second time in a row. Second round pick. Picking the name of the album.
Easy.
Not a bad pick.
That is a jam.
That is not a bad pick.
And my third pick is going to be Stay, Stay, Stay.
Okay.
Did you have that on your list?
I did not. My third round pick is I Knew You Were Trouble.
Okay.
And then my last pick is, I don't know, to be honest. Let's go with The Lucky One.
Okay, I don't have that one, Doc.
See what's on
But it isn't on the album. Oh yeah, right there, the lucky one. All right, my fourth. Wait, yeah,
This is your fourth.
and you've already got 4.
Yep, correct.
All right, cool. I'm gonna go with. I'll go with The Very First Night.
Oh,
Is
wow.
that on yours?
Nope. All right, so there it is.
All right, so can you run through yours?
Mine was 22. I Knew You Were Trouble. The Lucky One. What did I say? The Last Time?
The last.
The Last Time and The Lucky One. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
And mine are All Too Well, 10 minute, easy. Red, Stay, 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 and The Very First Night.
The very first night. There it is, folks.
Bada bing.
Let us know your favorites.
And let us know who won the Fave 4.
Yeah, because
On the poll on Spotify,
you can click it.
yeah, you can click it there, or you can see it on TikTok.
TikTok. You can also vote on YouTube. I don't actually know if you can vote on YouTube. I think
You can put it in
comment.
comments.
Yeah, comment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. So there it is.
All right, y'all.
Peace.